Arsenal Victor Osimhen transfer truth after Andrea Berta'S Galatasaray visit. Arsenal sporting director Andrea Berta was pictured in Istanbul on Monday night as he attended Galatasaray vs Fenerbahce. Arsenal chiefs Andrea Berta and Maurizio Michele attended Monday Istanbul derby between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce, which the Turkish Super League leaders won 3-0. Football.London understands the Italian pair were guests of FIFA licensed agent George Gardi, who unofficially works as a transfer meditator for Galatasaray. At this stage, the motive behind the trip to Rams Park remains unknown, but naturally, the Turkish media have speculatively reported that Arsenal are now targeting a number of Gala players ahead of the summer transfer window. The obvious link to make that Berta and Mikel are plotting a swoop for Victor Osimhen, who scored the opener in his side's statement victory. Mikel, who arrived at Arsenal from Napoli, where he was previously head of scouting, knows the player well as he was actually present when Osimhen signed his contract with the Italian Giants in 2020 following his transfer from Lille. Gardi also handled Marek Hamšík's professional affairs during his time at Napoli, was involved in Galatasaray's signing of Dries Mertens' free transfer, and helped the Serie outfit Landelgi from Fenerbahce in 2019, following Mikel's extensive scouting of the midfielder. In recent years, Gardi has operated as a middleman for Galatasaray and has been heavily involved in several big transfers, such as the acquisitions of Osimhen, Leroy Sane from Bayern Munich plus deals for ex-gunner Lucas Torreira and Mauro Icardi. In recent years, Gardi has operated as a middleman for Galatasaray and has been heavily involved in several big transfers, such as the acquisitions of Osimhen, Leroy Sane from Bayern Munich plus deals for ex-gunner Lucas Torreira and Mauro Icardi. But despite Berta and Mikel's presence on Monday, that does not mean Arsenal are set to go all out for Osimhen this summer, and as stated, the objective of their trip to Turkey remains unknown. Back in November, Gardi declared that Osimhen felt settled in Istanbul and made it clear he expected the striker to remain with the club for a long time. Additionally, the financials Osimhen earns at Galatasaray would be difficult for any club to match when you also factor in a potential transfer fee. He nets in the region of £13 million per season, without bonuses. It's a salary that would immediately place him among Arsenal's top earners. Furthermore, Osimhen banks a yearly £870,000, €1 million loyalty bonus, and his complex image rights are worth up to £4.3 million, €5 million. Arsenal are thought to be open to strengthening their attack at the summer window, but there is no evidence to suggest a shock move for Osimhen is currently in the pipeline. Arsenal sporting director Andrea Berta has reportedly initiated formal contact regarding a summer move for Victor Osimhen. Berta was in attendance for the recent derby between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce, where Spanish outlets indicate preliminary talks were held with intermediaries to discuss the feasibility of a transfer. The pursuit represents a continuance in Arsenal's recruitment plans as they, for a second summer running, appear to be prioritising a marquee No.9 ahead of the 2026-27 campaign. Unlike previous windows, where Osimhen's status has been complicated by loan agreements, the striker is now a permanent Galatasaray player, having completed a reported €75 million move from Napoli last year. Any deal would now require a direct club-to-club negotiation with the Turkish Giants, who are expected to demand a premium for their most prolific asset. There is no indication at this stage that any official approach has been made. Osimhen would likely represent a total financial commitment of approximately £200 million over a standard 5-year contract, assuming Arsenal stepped up their reported interest. Arsenal's premium club level tickets offer superb padded seating and access to the lounge 2.5 hours pre-match. The package includes 4 drinks, 1 food item, and a half-time complimentary drink. Guests also receive a £5 merchandise voucher and a complimentary museum tour, ensuring an elevated and comprehensive match-day experience for home supporters. Galatasaray would likely hold out for a transfer fee in the region of £100 million, which would make him one of the Gunners' most expensive signings. However, the main complexity lies in the wage structure. Osimhen currently earns a staggering €21 million, £17.5 million per year in Istanbul, according to ESPN. For Arsenal to successfully lure him to North London, they would need to facilitate a weekly wage of roughly £300,000, before loyalty bonuses and image rights. The pursuit of Osimhen raises immediate questions regarding the future of Victor Gyökeres. Since joining the Gunners last summer, the Swedish international has not exactly been an unmitigated success, although he has found the net 18 times in his debut campaign. A move for Osimhen would likely signal a departure for Gyökeres, or may indicate that Mikel Arteta is seeking to provide elite-level rotation to sustain title challenges on multiple fronts. However, balancing the minutes of Osimhen and Gyökeres could prove especially tricky. It does suggest, though, that Gabriel Jesus will be moved on this summer. The 29-year-old has appeared 24 times this season, predominantly from the bench, scoring 5 times across all competitions. Arsenal's most recently published financial accounts show the club is in a strong economic position. Revenue has surpassed £690 million, driven by deep Champions League runs and record-breaking commercial partnerships. Meanwhile, their expenditure on wages represents approximately 50% of their total revenue, which is much healthier than other top clubs.